Hey y'all, do y'all remember me saying that in order for someone who's toxic to get a rise out of you, if they talk about your parents or your family, that'll take people one to 1,000 quick. All right. So I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was this person I was trying to get to know, and she and I were cool initially. And then I realized that uh, she's got a very toxic relationship with her mother. And to be quite honest, she's not much better because she accused me of being passive aggressive or something with what I said. I'm not passive aggressive. I'm just going to tell you this is how I feel. Anyway, she not only continues to have a relationship with her narcissistic mother, and the reason we stopped speaking is because I slipped. I slipped and told her, "Your mom's a narcissist." And that was the end of that. So she prefers her mother over me, and that's cool because if you want toxicity, baby, I'm not the person you want to deal with. Trust me, you don't want to be tight with me, friends with me. You don't if you prefer toxicity, you cannot be tight with me because you're barking up the wrong tree. You need drama. I'm not giving it. I like joy. Um I like fun adventures, all of that. And if you're not about that life, well then go on somewhere. Have fun with that and good luck. So she not only still has a relationship with her toxic ass mother, who is passive aggressive to the hilt, always playing typical narcissist games. I never said that. You heard it incorrectly, or the typical mind games that narcissists do. She subjects herself to it, and she subjects her children to that. And I slipped and told her she's gonna get to the point where she starts manipulating your kids. I talk too much, okay? But you know what? If a person can't handle reality, then again, you don't want to be tight with me. So it was nice knowing you. Bye bye. Move on. Have a good life. Go on somewhere. And when I told her your mom's going to manipulate your kids, you know what she said? Oh, she's been doing that. I want y'all to think about that statement. Now, maybe I'm just the dumbest person in the world, but I believe in, protecting your children at all costs. Maybe I'm stupid. You should protect them at all costs. You don't subject them to poisonous people, poisonous boyfriends, girlfriends, fiancés, wives. You don't subject your kids to that. They don't have a choice. If you vibe with someone toxic, they don't have a choice in dealing with that person, because if you're dealing with them, they have to inadvertently deal with them too. But that's not fair to them. And if they're being abusive to your children, you need to step up to the plate and say, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't talk to my kids like that. We're not having that. And it's up to, you got to get rid of this person, because you're not only impacted, but if your kids are being impacted too. In a minute, come here. In a minute. Come. I'm going to pop you. Get over here. I'm sorry, y'all. He's so goddamn hard-headed. Lord help me. Ugh. Homicide is wrong. Or pupicide is wrong. Anyway, just wait. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh. So if you're subjecting yourself to toxic people and you're letting your kids be subjected to that, what is wrong with you? Because let me tell you something quick, fast, and in a hurry. You will never catch a bigger ass whipping than if you happen to be in the forest near a mama bear who has cubs, or a mountain lion who has cubs. You weren't thinking about their babies. You ain't nowhere near her babies. But the fact that you just happened to be there, you could catch your ass whipping based on that alone. And I've said this for years, and I'll continue to say it. What in the absolute hell is wrong with human mothers that a lot of them subject their kids to whatever and whoever, even if it's a family member? I don't care. If they are bad for your children's mental health, why do you subject them, your kids to them? Why would you do that? Why? You want your kids to be toxic too because that's what you're comfortable around, right? So I'm going to keep subjecting my kids to toxicity. I want my kids to be mentally damaged. I want them to grow up and get married to someone who's mentally damaged. I want their kids, my grandkids, to be mentally damaged because I don't want the dysfunction to ever stop. Really? Even if you don't verbalize that, the fact that you don't put a stop to it, you're going against the grain. You're going against the damn grain. It's your responsibility, come hell or high water, to protect your pumpkins. And you acting like, well, that's their grandmother. That's their toxic grandmother, sicko. And you're going to make your kids sick. It doesn't make any sense. If you got to cut them off, you cut them the hell off. Okay? You cut them the absolute hell off. And you don't have a relationship with them. You don't answer the door when they come to the door. You make it crystal clear, your ass ain't welcome in my life, period, point blank. Don't ever speak to me or my kids again. Kids are vulnerable. They don't need to be subjected to your stupid mother or your stupid father who's sick and twisted in the damn head, or grandmother, whoever the heck the person is. Nobody needs to be subjected to that. Are you going to pay for your kids' therapy because you refuse to cut off their grandmother who's sick? No, you're not. You're just going to keep subjecting them to psychological damage. And you're doing it on purpose? Wow. So, no, we could not be friends because she gets an orgasm off of toxicity. She loves the manipulation. She loves to be tricked. She loves her kids to be tricked. She loves the toxic texts that go back and forth. She loves it. Hey, come. She loves every single bit of it. And that's why I said the other day, you should be very cautious. Come here about being a junkie for drama. You don't want to be a drama junkie. You just don't. But if you are, you're going to lose friends, especially friends that don't get stimulated by bullshit. You're going to lose friends. They may not even say goodbye to you. They're just going to fade to black. Because they've talked to you very gently about it or maybe firmly about it. And you still won't stop. I lost my friend Angel. That's her real name. I will always love her. That's never going to change. When I love you, I love you. Unless you do something that's so twisted that I have no choice but to pull my feelings from you. And sometimes people do that. But she didn't. But we don't speak anymore because she's chocolate, he's white. He can't stand brown people. They were married before. Yeah, you heard me right. They were married before. He's called her the N-word. I don't know how many times. They've had physical fights like Mike Tyson, ball up your fist, swinging type fights. They got a divorce. It was his idea. And they still live together after divorce. She can't leave him. He is a massive narcissist, a sadistic narcissist. She will never leave him. And he started talking bad about her to me. That's my sister. There ain't nothing you could tell me that about her. I'm not. Please, I just let him run his mouth. But I knew that she's a good person, and I know she has a heart of gold. So there's nothing a narcissist is going to tell me to smear that person's name to me when I love that person. No, no. I know the dirt you've done. Don't go there. He cut the brake lines in her car. Oh yeah, he did. I asked her point blank, I said, let me ask you a question. And we're honest with each other. We don't BS each other, okay? Are you still intimate with him? She said, yeah. I said, you need to stop doing that. Because as long as you're being intimate with him, you cannot think clearly. You can't. Hormones block our common sense. Oxytocin and dopamine get in there, and before you know it, we acting super dumb. Okay? That's why you got to keep your clothes on, because you could think a lot more clearly when you keep your clothes on. Even if you're married, if this person is disrespecting you, stop doing them, because again, your brain is working against you, and you're extra forgiving, and you overlook a lot, and before you know it, it's been 20 years that you've been abused and you still haven't gone nowhere. See what I'm saying? So she'll never leave him. I told her that he's the one that cut the brake lights in your car. No, I think it's the neighbors, because the neighbors don't like that we're an interracial couple. I said, let me explain something to you. Anybody who has a problem with you being an interracial couple is not going to wait until you've been living there for years, and then they're going to all of a sudden start doing evil to you. They're going to let you know while you're moving in that your kind is not welcome here. They're going to let you know right out the gate. They're not going to be like 2 or 3 years later. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to let them know that we can't stand that over here. We're not having that. They're not going to overlook that. And then years and years later, they're going to be like, oh, I need to remind you that I don't like you being here. No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. They're going to let you know right out the gate, because she will not leave him. And she insists on subjecting herself to his evil and his hatred. I had to back off. I had to. I had no choice. You know why? Because when I love you, I love you. When I love you, when you're in, you're in. The only way you would get out is if you put yourself out. And yes, people have put themselves out. If you're a narcissist, I'm going to boot you out. Your nasty attitude, your lies, your cheating, and your manipulation will get you booted out. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Okay? So you can blame yourself. But if you're in, you're in. When someone you care about is being subjected to hate, and there's nothing you could do about it, it doesn't just hurt that person, it hurts people who love that person. So I want you to imagine you're on top of a hill and there's snow on the ground, and you start building, and I've done it. Me and my friend did it. We made a massive snowball that was literally as tall as I am, and I'm 5'10". And that it was, I think it was even taller. The snowball was even taller. Because I think we rolled it, and there was so much snow that as we rolled it, it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, it was massive. And that's the same thing with the drama. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and and you don't want to put a stop to it. And if a person truly loves you, I want you to listen to this very, very carefully. When they sit and watch this happen, it is like sitting in a chair alongside of train tracks. The person, your friend or whoever it is that you love, is on the train tracks and will not move even when a train comes. And you love them. So you got to sit there and watch and wait until they get killed by the train. That's torture. That's torture. And it hurts deep because you love deep. It hurts. It really, really, really hurts. So yes, you can lose friends. Yes, you can have people stop talking to you. Yes, you may have family members that back way up because they don't live like that. And they don't want you living like that. And they feel 1000% helpless. So People on the outside who don't understand that dynamic will probably say, "Oh, they turn their back on you. That was some kind of friend." That is, shut your ass up because you don't understand the dynamics. And if you don't understand, sit over there and shut your pie hole. It's not a matter of abandoning the person. It's a matter of I'm being abused indirectly because I'm watching someone I love be abused. And that's not fair to me. And it's increasing the hell out of my stress, too, because I love this person. Will I always love her? Yes. That's never, ever, ever, ever going to change. If she contacted me out of the clear blue, which I don't know if she has my contact information anymore, I highly doubt it. But if she did, and she said that he died, and she can't stop thinking about me, we will pick up where we left off because he's no longer in the picture. He can no longer cause any more damage. But until that day, or until, I can't do it. I love you very much and I can't do it. I cannot sit here and be subjected to the type of crap that you're dealing with, and I can't protect you. I can't shield you. I can't get that person out of the picture. It has to be that person's choice. And if they choose to keep putting themselves in danger and risking their life, who needs to sit and watch that happen? Who needs to sit and watch that? You will become isolated because no one wants to deal with it, and you will not rescue yourself. They can't force you to dump this person. Nobody can force that. And even if they did, you'd be right back with them because you're addicted to this person. You're trauma bonded to this person. You're addicted to the short spurts of when the person's actually nice. It never lasts. They got to have the bait to keep you in there, and the bait is the short, nice spells. And then they're back to being hateful all over again. It's kind of like fishing. You can't fish with just throwing your line in the water with nothing on it. You got to put bait. Then you catch something. Well, it's the same thing with abuse. The bait is the nice moments. The bait is, hey, babe, I love you. Here's some, here's a bracelet you wanted, and here's some flowers. No, you're not back to normal the way it was in the beginning. That's just taunting you. That person's evil. And they've been a lot more evil than nice. But you're trauma bonded, so you're not going to leave. Trauma bond is basically an addiction to the person. I can't rescue you from that. I cannot rescue you from that. I cannot. So I will back off. Will I always love you? Yes. When you get rid of that person or they die, which wouldn't bother me at all, to be quite honest with you, because that's one less demon we got in the world. See ya. Peace out. Then you can contact me and, we're cool. I had another friend. I love her dearly. We were besties for, oh God, so many years. Are you kidding me? And she was married to an abusive alcoholic. She got rid of him, and she's with another abusive, another abusive individual, controlling individual. Because when I left messages for her, on the rare occasion that I did get in contact with her, he wasn't passing on the messages. I'm not going through this shit again. I went through this with her first drunk. I'm not going through this with the second fool. So I backed off. It doesn't just hurt the two individuals involved. It hurts everybody who cares about you. It is a snowball effect. The more you push the snow, the bigger the snowball gets. People get tired. They back off. Their words are bouncing off of deaf ears. They back off. This way they can breathe again. And whatever goes wrong with you, whatever happens, and I promise you, look in the news, happens all the time. People get, eliminated by their partners. And the people that love you, After they finish crying and they can breathe now, they finish doing the, crying, they're gonna be like, you know what? I can't really say I'm shocked because the person was horrible. So this is the only way they were going to leave their partner, is to leave by force. And when you're eliminated, you have no choice. You're now no longer together. Don't wait till it gets to that point. There are so many people that never in a million years thought that their spouse would do that to them or their partner would do that to them. Let me explain you something. When there's a homicide investigation, the first person the cops look at is your partner. There's a reason for that. Because there's a strong possibility they got you out of here. They look at your partner first. And they say things like, let's just say the husband killed the wife. Were y'all having disagreements? Did you have an insurance policy? Have you talked to anybody else about problems in your marriage? Tell me again what happened. And they're going to ask over and over again because they want to see if there's any changes. If you're telling the truth, you'll say the same thing repeatedly. If you're not telling the truth, you'll have 5 different stories. And then you'll trick your own self. You'll trip yourself up because you'll be like, oops. Because they'll say, okay, hold it. You said you got home by 5, and now you're saying you got home by 7. So which is it? Are you telling the truth now, or are you lying now? And you're telling, what's really the story here? Because you told us 2 different things. And cops are so good at that they will trip you up. Okay? They will get you. That's not what you said earlier. Okay? They'll get you for that. Trust. So, yeah, you lose people that are, that you love. You lose them because, that's just the nature of the beast. There's nothing that can be done. That person refuses to be concerned about their own safety and their own psychological well-being. They just won't take care of themselves. They just will not. I mean, even if you're scared, you work, right? You make money. The only place you could afford is a studio apartment, or the only place you could afford is a room in elderly people's house. You could rent the basement or something for a small fee. They just want a few extra dollars per month. That's what the hell you do. That's what you do. You swallow your pride and you do what you got to do. Okay? There is a way that this can be handled. And, whoa, sorry about that. What the hell? Sorry. There is a way that this can be handled. Finances, you worry about finance. There's ways, talk to your friends, talk to your friends' friends, talk to people at your church. Somebody knows somebody who's renting out a room. I mean, if you got to put your stuff in storage for now and just rent a room in someone's house, whatever you got to do. Get in a shelter temporarily. They have all kinds of ways to help you get on your feet. You don't want to leave the comfort of your home, but how comfortable is it when you're with the devil every day? And you never know what's going to happen each day. Are you going to get the crystal vase thrown at you? Is the person going to start breaking things like they've done before? Are they going to start hitting you like they've did before? Or are they going to be more covertly insidious and mess with you so deeply psychologically that you literally lose your mind over time? And the people that I know, Henderson included, Henderson, and I don't know the other guy's name. There's 3 people that I know of I don't know the other two people's name. Well, one of them's name is Roger. There we go. Roger Henderson. I don't know the third person's name. 3 people that their wives have lost their shit mentally. And you will never, ever, ever hear a narcissist tell the truth of why that happened. Roger lies and says, "Oh, my wife she's not been right because she lost a certain amount of dollars with a scam." That's a load of cockamamie bullshit and triple layers of bullshit that doesn't make a person psychologically break. He is an asshole. And I've seen him be a backstabbing asshole. That's the reason why she lost her shit. It ain't got zippo to do with she lost a certain amount of money and she ain't been right since. Lies, lies, lies. Why she's still with that jackass, I don't know. Mr. Religious. Mr. Quote Scripture. You backstabbing bastard. Stop lying. God. Nothing worse than a fake godly person. Fake. That's just as bad as being a dirty cop. It's just gross. And then the other guy that I went out with once, and there was never going to be another time going out with him because that was hell in itself. He ignored me the whole time and started talking to some other guy. Why don't you jump in his lap and start kissing him because you're more deep into him than you are with me. Anyway, he drove his wife to lose her shit too. And they conveniently forget the part of the story where I pushed the hell out of her. I fucked her brain so hard that she lost her shit and almost had to go to a psych ward. They're never going to tell you that. But I'm going to tell you. When I find out that you were the one that pushed your wife to end her life, Henderson. Okay? When I find out, I'm telling the whole goddamn fucking world about it. Because you're going to sit here and act like she just spontaneously had a psychological breakdown. She thought, it's a Tuesday. I'm going to feed the dog, water the cat, wash the car. And probably around 2 o'clock, when I finish my errands, I'm going to have a psychological breakdown and become suicidal. She ended herself behind him. These motherfuckers aren't going to tell you that. So when I went for his goddamn fucking throat, I went hard. And it wasn't just for me, it was for Sarah too. Because he is so unfazed by her death, 1000% unfazed. Oh, God. You could not be a darker, gloomier, more horrible person than what you are already. Bad enough you got your hands in your parents' bank account up to the elbow, which they encourage that behavior because they ain't smart either. But then somebody that you were fucking her brain for 20-something years, she ended herself because you booted her out of the house? When she lost her job because you pushed her to where she lost her goddamn job. She was making good money. She lost her job. All that money wasn't coming in. He booted her out the fucking house. I promise you that. Let me tell you something else while I'm on a roll. I need to calm down. I fucking can't stand injustice. And I can't stand when people do things horrible things to other people. It makes me really angry. And they're so unfazed. La, la, la. I'm going to skip through the dandelions. Woohoo! Yeah, when when I come for you, I'm coming hard. Can't stand dirty ass people. Anyway, I promise you, and this is the type of shit people that are victims of abuse have to deal with. I promise you, Sarah did not have a key to that house when they got married. First of all, let's backtrack to when the little bastard got married. He took her on a cruise. It wasn't for her to enjoy the cruise. It was all about his ugly ass. Let's not get that twisted. He contacted the fucking cruise line told them that they were going to be on the cruise, and he wanted to propose to her, and could they work that into one of their shows or whatever the fuck it was. So they did, and it was all about his ugly ass. He didn't have shit to do with her. She was just the recipient of it. Okay, because he prints papers, he printed a big banner that said "Welcome home, Sarah," or something along those lines. What he should have put on the banner is "Welcome to the gates of hell, Sarah." He wanted the entire neighborhood to know that he was getting married, or that he got married when he did. She didn't know what the fuck she signed up for, but my God, she found out. 20 years too late, I might add. She couldn't park in a garage. His parents bought the house he's in. They also bought the vehicle he drives because, again, he's got his arms elbow deep in his parents' bank account, and they're fucking stupid for letting him do that. They worked hard for that money. He didn't. You wonder why he's a goddamn narcissist. Ooh, I gotta calm down. Let me calm down. I can't stand dirty people. So she had to park in the driveway. He decided to be king of that house that mommy and daddy bought. If they were smart, they would have kept their name on it. So if you act a fool and you get disrespectful and I find out that you're backstabbing us, we will put you out of the fucking house and we would reclaim the house. Okay? That's what you do if you have a lot of money. You don't put it in your kid's name ever. Because if they turn against you like a goddamn rattlesnake, and you know your son's shit, okay? They turn against you like a rattlesnake, they got a house from you. They got a vehicle from you. They got furniture from you and washer and dryer and everything else. Wow. If you got, you got a lot of money. I can't even talk. I'm so mad. You get a lot of money. You need to be smart about it and stop babysitting your children. They're not children. They're adults. If they can't make their own goddamn money, fuck them. Y'all don't realize y'all got money and you realize your fucking kids can't stand you. If they're narcissists, they hate you. Okay? And you're kissing their butts harder, which is stupid. Anyway, I promise you, she didn't have a key to the house. I promise you, she did not have access to the bank account. She might have had her own account, but I doubt it because he's so fucking greedy for money that he needs to have access to her money and his money. Okay? Don't ever, ever, ever in your life, if you're married, do not ever have a joint bank account because when things go south, that individual will turn into something you never knew existed and take every dime out of that bank account. You think they don't do that? You better talk to a divorce attorney and have a sit down chit chat with them. Okay? You better sit down and talk to them and let them awaken you about how fucking people act when it's over. She didn't have a key to the goddamn house because he's got schizophrenic tendencies. Paranoid, 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 paranoid. A lot of narcissists are paranoid. Everybody's coming after them and this and that. He's got iron grates in the front door because he's terrified someone's going to bust through the door and do something to him. He's got a huge rifle underneath his bed because he's schizophrenic tendencies. He's got a huge safe downstairs in the basement that is bolted to the ground. It's connected to the ground because he's that paranoid. Okay? Paranoid as hell. He ain't gonna give his wife a key to the house. He don't want nobody in the house when he's not there. My friend picked him up was fixing his toilet at no charge. And he told Stupid, let's go to the hardware store and pick this up. He didn't want to leave me at the house, but he didn't want to make a big stink because he was getting the toilet fixed for no charge. So he didn't say nothing to my friend, but he was probably getting ready to have a goddamn panic attack. He don't like nobody in the house when he's not there. So I promise you, his wife did not have a key. I promise you that. Okay? He had her butt-ass naked at these campsites where clothing is optional. He basically forced her into what he wanted her to be, and he hated her anyway. So it's like artwork. You work and you mold and shape, and then it's this thing that you've always wanted, and then you can't stand it anyway, regardless. So she lost her whole identity. He was banging her in front of other people at the clothing optional site because he wanted to humiliate her. She had no backbone, so she was the perfect person to marry and torture for 20-something years. He turned her into BDSM. He got her real heavy into the slave master mentality. He stripped her of her entire identity. When she lost her freaking mind, she lost her job because she couldn't function on the job anymore. Well, because she was making good money and he didn't have access to the money no more, he put her ass out of the house because that's mommy and daddy's house, even though he's acting like it's his. That's mommy and daddy's house and you're not allowed to be here. Pack up and get the fuck out. So she did. Now, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. Okay? If you're married and that person puts you out of the house and you don't have a dime and you can't afford an attorney, let me explain something to you, honey. Especially for women. You can go to the judge, or not the judge, I'm sorry. You could go to the attorney and have a free consult with them and talk to them about your financial situation, and they can get your spouse to pay for everything legally and get you money, get you maintenance, which is what it's called in Missouri. It's called maintenance. I would never have let that son of a bitch get away scot-free. And then she took her life at the very end. No, baby. No, baby. I would have you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you picked the right one. I'm going straight to an attorney's office and you're going to pay me maintenance. Bitch. Okay? He won. He walked away unscathed. No. He probably made her go through an arbitrator or whatever. He took it to the court. No, bitch, I'm getting an attorney. Okay? And you get that fool to pay for it. Since they wanted to control all the money, you're paying all the court fees and the lawyer's fees and every goddamn thing else. You want to play? Let's go. Please, let's go. Make my day. You don't ever take yourself out. You take them out by means of their money because that's the most important thing to them. Bitch, you be paying me mucho dollars every single month. She went about it the wrong way. And if I had known her, which of course I obviously couldn't have known her, right? I would have took her by the hand and said, let me explain to you something, girl. We going straight to the attorney's office. Don't question me. Get your butt in the car. Let's go. Especially once I found out how he banged her in her head psychologically. Yeah. He better fall on his pale white legs on his knees. He better fall on his bony ass knees and thank God, which he don't believe in God. He goes to church every Sunday, but he don't believe in God. God hasn't worked any miracles. I haven't punched you in your face yet. That's a miracle. You still got your teeth in your ugly face, right? That's a miracle. Okay. He better fall on his bony ass knees and be glad that I didn't know Sarah, because I swear to God, she would have got paid every month. Okay? Because the longer you're with that person, the more they're going to pay you. Now, if you've only been together for 5 years, 6 years, you're not going to get much every month. But 20-something years, oh, she would have got cha-ching paid. Anyway, love you guys. Take care and stay away from evil people. They will ruin you. They will definitely ruin you. And you just can't put yourself through this. You just cannot put yourself through this. You can't. You got to take care of yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to protect yourself. Love you guys. Bye.